Today's video is about drunk fairies and dead lizards. Well, I mean, it's really about terrariums. Hi, it's Lena. I'm going to be making a terrarium today, and I want to show you how I do it, and maybe you guys can try it out. You don't have to do anything as big as what I'm doing, like literally a teeny tiny little aquarium that you got for cheap. Any kind of little aquarium will work. And you can do something teeny tiny that sits on your desk, or you can do something in like a 10-gallon aquarium, or you can do what I'm doing. Okay, so this was the state of my terrarium. I had previously used it as an vivarium for my lizard.
Who's a good-looking lizard? Who's a good-looking lizard? Who's a handsome lizard?
And unfortunately, my very handsome bearded dragon passed away. Anyway, after 3 days of crying, I spent 2 weeks thinking, what am I going to do with this giant tank? And I didn't want to get any more reptiles because I'm too sad still. So I started placing plants inside of it that I thought would do well in a terrarium environment. I chose ferns, and they need a lot of humidity and moisture, so this is sort of the perfect environment for them. So these snake plants are already well established. They were in the tank for the lizard. So these two water bowls are for the lizard, but I've used them before building a terrarium in the past, like planters, because they hold soil and they retain moisture. So they kind of work nicely as little pockets for moisture-loving plants. So I've got a mixture of aeroid soil and potting soil, and I'm gonna mix coco coir in with it to help it retain moisture. So I have lined it with plastic garbage bags for 2 reasons. One, there is actually a very large crack at the bottom on the left end, and I don't want any moisture to seep through there because underneath the terrarium I have heating pads that will maintain the temperature of the soil for the new plants that are going in it. And at some point I do want to put a water feature of some kind in it, if it's a tiny fountain or something like that. I just haven't decided yet, but I want to make sure that if there is a lot of spillage that I don't have water seeping through those cracks. I'm using those water dishes to support what I'm going to be adding on top, which will be rocks. So building rock gardens is kind of my thing. I have done it a lot and I'm getting better at it. And I'm using rocks to create structure that will keep the height on that end of the terrarium from settling. And it also creates little pockets where I can put plants, and it will keep the soil around them from eroding down as they get watered and as the materials the soil's made out of break down. And then I'll add one more layer once I'm done distributing the soil where I want it to go. This end with the snake plants, I'm not adding a bunch of coco coir, and I'm not really adding much more in the way of soil. It will have a layer of coco coir when I'm all done, but snake plants don't want to be super wet, so I don't want this area to hold as much moisture. And there is a layer of succulent cactus soil underneath the snake plants, and that spreads all the way across the bottom to absorb excess moisture. And here's a close-up cross-section of the layers of soil and coco coir. I think it's looking pretty cool now. Moss hunting. Here's where we've already peeled some off and left some to keep growing. Ooh, here's a nice piece of fairy carpet. Easier after it rains because it's a little bit softer to pull out. There's a nice piece of fairy carpet. Or a beard. Time for the plants! It's finally time to plant stuff. definitely want more plants and to start adding the moss. Okay, so this is the same misting system that I used when I had my little indoor mini greenhouse. But now that I'm not growing plants to sell anymore, I am going to use it for the terrarium. But there's a little problem. It is absolutely disgusting inside. So I'm going to fill it with water, suck out all of the soil and dirt and dust that has accumulated in it, and then see if I can't get it working again. I am running into some technical difficulties. I use distilled or filtered water in this thing all the time because I don't want it to get clogged up, but unfortunately it does. Mineral buildup in these little teeny tiny brass fixtures is so hard to avoid, and I'm going to have to do something. So I've got vinegar. I'm going to be soaking these little brass nozzles and trying to scrub everything with a little tiny fine toothbrush, including inside the actual mister itself. Some of them are spraying a fine mist like they're supposed to, and others are kind of dribbling. I'm going to have to keep working on it. Making progress. I'm going to show you what I've been doing. I went out back and I collected moss, Whisper, and I pulled it up off some rocks, trying to get long, wide pieces so we could make it like fairy carpet. And here's what we've been doing. Okay, Whisper's putting in some of the moss now.
Hello, Whisper. Hi. Get in there.
Get in there.
That's 3 pieces of moss that are going to start growing eventually.
And there we go. That is the finished product for now. So that's my terrarium video. I hope you guys liked it. In my next video, I'm going to be turning this into a bonsai. It is a baby tree I got for free from the Houston Arboretum. So check out that video. See you later, guys. Have fun gardening. And now it's hug a dog time. Hug a dog, hug a dog.
This is your pet cameo.
Love it.